past weekend, as I've mentioned on my show, The Experience, where we don't have to talk about Ruth Buzzy and her coochie and all that stuff.
No one was talking about that. What?
Didn't she do the hoochie coo? No, that was Charo.
You just confused Charo with Ruth Buzzy?
I confused Charo and Ruth Buzzy just because of the hoochie coochie. Only one of them was married to the only other famous Cuban band leader besides Desi Arnaz Jr., which would have been Xavier Cugat. That was Charo, not Ruth Buzzy. I don't know whether Ruth Buzzy and Artie Johnson ever got together or not.
Do you know this episode of The Drive-Thru would have probably been the single biggest episode of any show ever if it came out in 1975?
Well, I was about to say, right now, we have got the fucking rest home demographic cinched up tight in an STF, baby. But anyway, back to the future, back to the present, or just 2 days ago, which is currently, right? I went out in the world. I told you about this on my program, that I was going to, Stacy's birthday was Sunday, and for the first time in 18 months, we're going to a restaurant. We're going to eat amongst the people. And it didn't go off without a hitch. I mentioned that I had Hotchkiss working with the city code officials, and I thought the plexiglass was going to be in, and you had to do certain permits with the, you know, when you're constructing partitions to partition your area off from other people in a public business, you have to engage in certain permits, and there's some greasing of some palms that needs to go on. But everything was great until the problem was Hotchkiss was going to save some money and do it himself. The actual work of the installation of the plexiglass, we were going to do a cone of silence kind of thing that would just come straight down over our table and give us, you know, room. And also there was the air filtration system, but everything came in. Hotchkiss was going to do the work himself because he's handy with the electric power drills and the bolt cutters and things. But
isn't he missing a finger?
No, he's got an extra one on his left hand, so he can do a variety of things. His dexterity is incredible. It's just he can't find gloves. But anyway, he was going to do the work himself. What if, now don't scoff at the man's disability. Actually, it's not a disability. It doesn't hinder him. As a matter of fact, it helps him in certain cases.
Round the boy
He
back.
mentioned his girlfriend likes it.
Yeah, it's a great way to meet women. Look what I got.
You know, well, it's a conversation starter. But anyway, so he was going to do the work himself, but did I mention the restaurant was downtown? And it's downtown Louisville, and he's got the thing where basically for another 18 months, he's not allowed to be within a mile of the Jefferson County Courthouse. So they actually measured, they were out there measuring, held up traffic on 5th Street for a little while, but they measured the distance to the restaurant, and he couldn't go in. By then it was too late to get the Monroe brothers to come in. So we had to rough it, and we went with no plexiglass cone of silence and or health over the top of us. But as I also mentioned, we did do an early Sunday evening reservation where most people would not be out and about, and son of a gun, wouldn't you know what happened? Most people weren't out and about. As a matter of fact, we were there till about 6:30, and there was still, it's downtown Louisville on Sunday. So we figured out there's nobody out and about. So this was pretty fucking good. It's a Brazilian steakhouse. I can reveal that now since nobody will show up asking for a free meal because we're not there. And you could park in the garage, which was practically empty, and parking's free on Sunday because did I mention it's downtown Louisville, so who's going to be downtown on Sunday? And getting in the elevator, boom, by ourselves, it was almost like a private entrance. We walked straight through. It's on 4th Street Live, which on Sunday at 5 o'clock is apparently dead. It's the first time I've been there in 4 years. I don't fucking know. But anyway, and we walked right out, and boom, there's the fucking restaurant. Walked right in, sit right down, baby. Anyway, things are reminding me of music these days. And there's nobody, there's like 2 tables of people in the room over there, and we get over by the wall all by ourselves, and you wouldn't have believed the variety of meats that are going on in this place, Brian. But I will finish the health report before I comment on the food. So, of course, we've worn our masks in. We get the table, we take them off, because there's people at a table over about 30 feet from us and over about 20 feet on the other side, right? So we're all good right here by the wall. And I'm thinking, well, I see the person who seated us is wearing a mask, and I see people carrying the meat around that's wearing a mask. I think, okay, this makes sense because they're actually carrying the food that they're going to bring you, so of course they would be wearing a mask, right? And I'm saying they've got the, have you been to a Brazilian steakhouse? Not necessarily in Brazil, just anywhere.
I haven't.
They've got the gimmick where they bring you your sides, and you can add, it's all you can eat, right? So of course I've got my money's worth. But they bring you your sides, and you can ask for more. They bring those to the table, but they have this giant salad bar with the fresh vegetables and all a variety of stuff, and they've got shrimp, and they've got holy mackerel. And I see there's one person up there wearing a mask, so I'm thinking, okay, well, this is what the policy is. When you go, this makes sense also. When you leave your table and go to the salad bar, you got to be wearing a mask. So as we start, then I start seeing some of the other staff coming out, and they're not wearing a mask. Oh, wait a minute. What sense does it make if some of the staff is wearing a mask and some is not wearing a mask? Now I'm confused. So I go up to the salad bar, and here comes other people with no masks on. And now also remember the sneeze guard, right? They got a sneeze guard everywhere because they figured some human beings can't figure out not to just fucking haul off and chew in the ranch dressing. That's why they have a sneeze guard, but now that's just in regular days. But now we're in a pandemic of a contagious disease, and you're not supposed to wear a mask when you're standing over the fucking romaine lettuce. But they have plastic gloves for you to put on before you pick up the plate to get the stuff at the salad bar that nobody's wearing a mask at breathing on. So there's inconsistencies here. But anyway, I wasn't there for salad anyway, so I got one. I wasn't going back, and I scampered back over to the table and wolfed that son of a bitch down.
Now, can I stop you real quick before you talk about more food?
Please do.
Everyone knows you love meat. Everyone knows you love a good cheeseburger. But we also know that you are right now at your lowest weight in your adult life. You're in great shape.
Well, you could have stopped with adult life.
For Jim Cornette.
Okay.
For Jim Cornette, you're in great shape.
For Jim Cornette.
That would most likely mean your stomach has shrunk a bit. Were you able to really enjoy a Brazilian steakhouse the way you would want to because of your, I'm assuming, your smaller appetite?
Well, I trained for this. I had not eaten since about 6:30 p.m. the previous day.
Oh, wow.
And you know, and also I wasn't able to put up the numbers on the board that I would have 15 years ago when I was really heavily into aggravation eating, where I will choke a motherfucker, or in these fucking deals where I would have to go 36 hours with barely having a meal, like the time out I went to the Ring of Honor WrestleMania events in Phoenix, and I was there at the building for 12 hours on Saturday, and get out and have fucking cold Burger King, because that's what we found. And then the next day is the afternoon show, and I hadn't had time to eat anything, and I'm stuck at what I thought was going to be an arena and turned out to be an arena at a college. Means there's no fucking nothing. And after that let out, I had the quadruple bypass and those are half-pound patties each at Heart Attack Grill with the all-you-can-eat fries, along with half of Stacy's double that she couldn't finish, and I did that in like 12 minutes. But I digress. No, but I trained for this, and it was good. And here's the thing.
Torpedoes, direct front.
The only time I've eaten, I like cooking at home. I like Stacy's cooking. I like my cooking. But I have always eaten other people's cooking more regularly. And I like other people's cooking, but not when it's been shoved in a goddamn plastic container and set in somebody's back seat for 20 minutes, which has been food delivery over the last year and a half. So I'm actually getting it from the source here. Yeah, I'm mowing through that stuff. And I'd already decided, right, with the whole COVID, I said, we're vaccinated. We haven't been to a restaurant. I'm reconciling this in my mind. We haven't been to a restaurant in 18 months. I've barely left the house in 18 months. You've traveled only when necessary. What are the chances? If you're just going by the odds, and we're there on Sunday and there's hardly anybody in the place, what are the chances that we're going to catch something? At this point, I would have had to have literally kicked Maria Ospinskaya in some kind of previous life to be cursed like that. Even a man who is pure in heart and worships his wrestling by night may catch the COVID when the wolfbane blooms, and he's stupid enough to go to a restaurant for the first time in a year and a half. It would be ridiculous, right? So I'm feeling good about the whole thing. Even with the people I'm not understanding why there's no consistency with people that are breathing all over your fucking food wearing masks or not. But anyway, it was delicious, however. The garlic mashed potatoes were my favorite side. Stace went for obviously the more Brazilian traditional, I think, plantains and polenta and something or other else. I saw mashed potatoes and say, here.
You don't eat plantains?
I don't. I've never been on the plantation to know, to have homegrown plantains to where I would, adapt an affinity to them. But anyway, you ought to see this meat. They had sirloin. They had teriyaki chicken. They had bacon-wrapped filet mignons, just medallion-sized. Oh, my God. The incredible smoked sausage. Every kind of meat, and they just carve it right off and just, and you have your little tongs and you just pull it from them, right? So they don't touch anything, and they're just whacking it off with they whack the smoked sausage off just right with their knives and everything. But anyway, that was good. I can see possibly in another 3 to 6 months venturing out and doing something like that again.
That sounds exciting. Can't wait to hear more about it.
I had a big meal in public, if you will. And I still hear from these people who
Every time he talks about the COVID, he can't be scared to live your life. You have to go out and do what you would normally be doing and not put it over. And
actually, I'm doing right now, except for the no restaurant part. I'm living my life. It was a pain in my ass every time I had to fucking leave the house to begin with beforehand. So this is actually living my stress-free life. You know this to be a fact.
Yeah, pandemic or no pandemic, none of us were going to Sturgis.
Yeah, it's like I don't know right now if there was no pandemic, what would be attractive enough, and you've just got a brand new trip to Swaziland. I don't know what the fuck that it would make me want to leave my home right now. So actually, the only time that I'm not living my dream life is when I have to go to my dry cleaners went out of business. I found that out.
Because you stopped going there.
They were just there a year and a half ago. It actually...
It's the same thing that happened to the photo booth when you went into managing.
Yes, the Full Tone Photo Company took a nosedive. No, I wasn't really keeping them in business at this point. They were just right there. Just as I said, a year and a half ago, I realized it's been a year and a half since I wore dress clothes and needed to have anything dry cleaned. And I went, it's only down the road. I went by there. They pulled the sign off the front of the building. There were wires hanging in that room. Everything left. Thankfully, I'd picked up all my clothing. Well, there you go.
Well, another episode of the drive-through here, and
have I mentioned? What date does this come out? We're still almost on a regular schedule, but not quite. We're doing this one day late, right? And then we're going to be caught up
almost
from heretofore.
I think by the end of September, because we still have the Jewish holidays, we still have the Jim Cornette holidays.
Wait a minute, I thought you said the end of September is a rib the other day.
Well, we have to get through the Jewish holidays. We have to get through your birthday. We have to get through several things.
Wait a minute. What day is my birthday on?
Your birthday's on, I think, the 17th, isn't it? Shouldn't you know this? It's your birthday.
Damn it,
What's wrong with you?
What day of the week? Now, fuck you, first of all, in your sphincter. I'm saying to you, the words that are coming out of my mouth is what day of the week is my birthday on this month? I know it's the 17th. It's been that way for quite some time now.
It is this year a Friday.
Oh, God damn it. Well, we ain't going to record the experience on my birthday, are we?
You see?
Well, what are these Jewish holidays you're springing on me now?
Hold on. Let me give you the actual dates. Of course, we begin with Rosh Hashanah. And Rosh Hashanah is on Monday the 6th at the evening, so we're good for recording Monday during the day.
Well, there's a hip, hip, hooray. Holy
It doesn't
mackerel.
appear that Rosh Hashanah will mess up our schedule too much. We want to thank the Lord for that. Good job this year with the calendar, big man.
Big man, thumbs up on the calendar, but Cornette's birthday. Who do I get upset about for that?
And Yom Kippur, I'm off the grid from sundown Wednesday to sundown Thursday, so that doesn't affect us either. We're in good. It's really you. It's you and your birthday that's messing everything
all
up.
my fault.
Yeah.
It's every single bit of it now. Well, we'll be mostly on the proper schedule except for that weekend of September 17th, which is my 60th birthday, and I will be accepting all types of gifts and cards and well wishes at P.O. Box 436963, Louisville, Kentucky 40253. But speaking of which, before we even get there, we ain't even going to get to my birthday, baby. Before we talk about the psychedelic grand opening of the all-new JimCornette.com, which takes place this weekend. That's where I was going with that, was what day does this show come out? It's this weekend.
September 1st, the show comes out.
Okay, September 4th, Saturday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. We've been talking about this. I've been talking about it. The world is talking about it. The new JimCornette.com, the whole new website, the brand new Cornette's Collectibles store, the ease of the shopping experience. We now take PayPal and major credit cards. You get your confirmation emails from this thing. It's going to be incredible. An all new design, the whole 9 yards. Hotchkiss Featherbottom has worked his fingers to the bone to do this, and he has told everybody in the world that he triple dogs dares you. You people don't have a hair on your testicles if you do not get on and try to crash this thing, because he's got all the server that we need. He's got servers hooked up to servers to handle this traffic. And it's so even if you don't want to purchase anything, get on JimCornette.com at 10 a.m. Saturday, September the 4th, Eastern Time, by the way, and just and look around. Just take it for a test drive. Click on all the buttons. You can go to the Patreon. You can go to the YouTube. You can go to all of the stuff that we do and the collectible store. If you do have an extra dollar and the pent-up demand has been too much for you, that we've only been open 16 days in calendar 2021, that's because we were waiting on this site that works right. And we've done the inventory. We've got about 275 of the original action figures, the red and yellows, and then they're gone forever. We're not doing those anymore. And we've got somewhere around, I got a few extra boxes of the variant from the toy company, so we probably got around 850 or so of those. And then those will not be done anymore. Or the Cult of Cornette membership certificates, you can purchase those.